Some say it grew from our malice and indifference. Some say it was retribution from the heavens. All we know is the pandemic began somewhere. Somewhere cursed, dark, and filled with sorrow. Future generations will wonder how it all started. We will tell them the infection began with PodcastZERO.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
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 Welcome to PodcastZERO, every peoples. And welcome some new people here tonight. We have Mr. Bike Man.
How's it going?
Doing excellent, doing excellent.
Fantastic.
Fantastico. Mr. Agent North.
What's going on, everybody?
Not much. Getting the show. Mr. Tangent.
How you guys doing?
And also Mr. As a return, Mr. Hazardous Mouse.
Hello.
Stockus.
Hello, every zombie.
And the indomitable Miss Skylatron.
Hello.
Oh, that was great. Sounds like so. Hello. So, hi everybody. We're going to be going over a bunch of stuff tonight for H1Z1. We just got through finished watching. Most of us did here. Watching. What was his name now? What was his name? Jericho. It was Jericho who went out to SOE and live streamed it on his channel in playing some. So we do have some things to talk about from that show. Plus, as always, the procedure for our show is this. We're going to go around and talk about some things like that. If you have questions, please ask them in chat in brackets. You type in bracket question in bracket. And our chat monkey, Mr. Bod699, will grab them up and stick them into our chat here on Skype. And we'll be able to answer your questions best we can. We are not developers. We are just insane gamers, streamers, and ne'er-do-wells.
So, reading between the lines, no asking about when release date is or when PS4 will it ever come to PS4?
It is not
Well,
coming out on
ask,
PS4. You can ask.
You can ask. You'll just get ridiculed.
Yeah, so what happened with Stockus is this wild, was it a dingo? Charged through his house, ripped off his beard, and then jumped through my window and took off all my hair. It really happened. It's gone. Just like, poof.
Legit story.
Where do you live?
We live close by each other. It's Australia, and you know the whole time warp thing that they can do.
Everything will kill you in Australia. So,
Yeah, they will.
so I hear.
Dingoes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
shit.
right.
I just realized I'm not wearing headphones, so it's probably going to get an echo.
I'm allowed.
Yes. Sorry, let me put my
Yeah.
headphones on. Sorry about that, everybody. You guys don't have to wear
the
headphones. It's just me because it comes back through my mic.
The dingoes here run around with cutthroat razors and.
They're just so informal. So let's go around the room and everybody can just introduce themselves. You want to start, Mr. Bikeman? Explain who you might be on the Twitter or on the Twitch.
Bikeman. I'm Bikeman. Around the Twitch, I'm known as Bikeman, and I insist people in the real world call me that too. And I look at them like this.
It's a good look.
And
It's a good
I
look.
mostly stream DayZ and Arcade and pretty much everything, like from obscure titles to AAA titles, whatever looks really interesting to me.
Awesome.
And H1Z1 looks pretty interesting. I was kind of skeptical at first, but I watched some streams, so it's looking pretty good.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll beat your brain about DayZ when we get going here because I'm a big DayZ hater. So hopefully we can get through that together.
Yeah, we're gonna
We'll have words. No, maybe it'll
like
be good.
opposing male rhinos.
Yeah. All right, Agent North. Tell us a little bit about your channel and stuff. What you do.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Agent North. I am a streamer. I am a former supporter of the game War Z. I play and love a lot of open world survival games. You know, started with my old fandom of Resident Evil games back in the day. I guess that's about it for me. I mean, big activist of open world zombie games.
Awesome, which is perfect. Fit right in. Mr. Tangent, you are a new person tonight.
Hey guys, Tangent Gaming on Twitch. I am a streamer. I've been involved in survival horror since a very early age. Resident Evil is my favorite. Well, I'm not really happy with Capcom right now, but Resident Evil is where I got started. And I've always been a believer in the zombie sandbox games. I don't know if I'm probably going to be the only one here. My favorite one in recent memory was Nether, actually. Those not zombies, but
Beasties.
Yeah, Beasties. So on my stream, I tend to play games that are really hard, ones that I will struggle with, ones that will probably get a very angry reaction out of me. Eventually, that's kind of what I do. So Dark Souls, we're playing. People are trying to get me to play like I Want to Be the Boshi. We were doing Broforce earlier and stuff like that. So everything from indie titles to new stuff, basically.
Yep. Mr. Hazardous Mouse.
Yep, that's my name.
Don't worry.
I play a lot of open world survival sandbox type games, especially Daisy. Lately, a lot of Daisy Overpoch, which is a lot of fun. It's a nice little break from standalone, which obviously we have some opinions on here. So that's what type of streamer I am. Like online games, I like open world survival sandboxes.
Yep. Skyla, you are the chief executive of the world over at 10 Ton Hammer. So
Likely. Yeah, that's what I'm working on. Yep, I am Skylatron on the Everywheres. I am the social media person at 10 Ton Hammer. I stream mostly MMOs and stuff, although I am in the middle of a Walking Dead marathon right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Mr. Stockus.
Yes.
Moderator extraordinaire in on every one of our podcasts, Mr. Stockus.
That's right.
Our go-to guy.
And I'm also chief executive of all the lost left socks in the world also. I know exactly where they are. I'm not telling you where they are.
Well, they must be in Australia.
Yeah, there's a small corner of Australia devoted just to the socks. That's why we have a crusty sock corner in the TeamSpeak channels, because I know where they go.
I watched a special in Australia, and I found out that it is actually bowl-shaped, which is probably where all the socks go, is towards the middle of the bowl.
Yep.
So I think I know where it might be.
So whenever you roll your socks up and you put them in the wash, they actually all just roll down, and we've got a basically giant salt bowl that's now full of socks.
Excellent.
True fact.
True fact. All right, guys. So most of it. Who here did not see the stream tonight? So I won't pick on you too much. The H1Z1 stream. Did anybody get to
That would be me.
Okay, that's fine.
I caught the tail end of it.
Yeah, Stockus didn't watch all of it yet.
I was in the middle of watching it, but
all right. Everybody else, let's go around. What did you guys think of it? What did you think of Jericho's play? Some of the changes that they might have seen that's been made. What are you guys thinking of it so far?
I'm a believer.
You are?
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so good. One of the things that I think this game is doing really well right now is I don't think they're really trying to reinvent the wheel. I just think they're really trying to bring a polished experience, which I think widely a lot of the survival horror sandbox genre is really lacking. I think it looks really crisp. I think it looks really polished. I think it looks really playable, and not just to someone who's willing to navigate a difficult user interface. So I think there's going to be really good things for it.
So they're taking everything from DayZ, WarZ, Rust, throwing it all into a big pot and making it better. Because we've talked about this before and other times we've had the show, is that there is no real good zombie game out there that works. It's just they all kind of work in slightly okay ways. DayZ's great because, that whole intense, oh my god, I'm by myself out in the woods and I've got to try to find a can of beans where I can get sniped. Over to Rust, where you can build your own fort and have somebody break down the walls and steal all your shit, to the Forest, which doesn't have zombies necessarily, but it has that sort of same building mechanic. None of it actually works perfectly, so I think I'm really excited to see H1Z1 kind of going down that path. What do you think, Mr. North? What are your thoughts so far in H1Z1? What you've seen?
Well, I mean, it's looking more playable than a lot of the other early access games that have came out. I mean, it's way more playable than when War Z came out, honestly, from what I saw. You know, there's a little bit of bugs, you know, nothing that we didn't expect, but it's definitely looking like I don't know, it's looking like it's right around the corner. That's all I can say.
It's very close. What are you thinking, Bike Man?
I've only recently started following H1Z1. I've been a staunch DayZ supporter, but I like what I've seen so far. I like the atmosphere. Some things worry me. Glowing containers, searching. I've always been kind of like wary of that. But I don't know if you would call me like a survival game conservative, maybe, I guess. I don't know would be the term for it. Like, I want more difficulty and less hand-holding as much as possible.
Yeah, I saw you were talking about that with Ko earlier. What is your major opposition to glowing containers?
My major opposition is you lose something and when the container is delivered to you. That sense of discovery and achievement that you found something and someone else did not see that, whereas opposed to going mechanically through a room to every glowing container and cycling the search button is not as thrilling as finding something organically.
Do you think that it's too much hand-holding, maybe?
I mean, it's not like, obviously it's still early, so they could change it at any time, and you know, we would never know till it came out. But right now, it's kind of a sticking point for me, as I've said.
Yeah.
I will say that I do think that the sheer number, and I do agree with you about like the glowing containers, but I do think that what's a nice change of pace is actually seeing a good number of the places where they went today in game had a lot of lootable surfaces and things to interact.
Oh, that was awesome! Yeah.
Like now, if this was just like a little micropod of what's to expect, like if there was anything scripted, I don't know, it didn't seem like anything was, but if the whole world is packed like that, that's really ambitious, and I think that's really good because, you know, playing through DayZ, and I love DayZ, but there was a lot of things really underwhelming, like going into a whole town and having, you know, only a certain amount of houses could be even enterable, or maybe there's only a specific loot spawn for like one particular room in one of those houses. It just made it feel like, you know, you could actually miss something if you didn't check everything. That's the impression that I got from it.
Now, Skylar, you're the only one here who's actually got a chance to play it. So,
Yeah.
So, what did you think of what you saw tonight compared to what you played, which was only a few weeks ago, right, when you were at E3?
Yep, E3. So
actually, maybe
I don't know, about a
did
month.
anybody else? I didn't even ask. Did Bikeman? Did you go to E3? Did you play it?
No, I didn't go to E3. The last
Okay.
trade show I went to was PAX East.
Okay, fair enough. So, how about North? Did you go to E3?
I did not get that opportunity.
Okay, fair enough. So
unfortunately.
it must be Sky. Okay, so Skylar's the only one who's played. Go ahead, Skylar. Continue on. I'm sorry.
I think that the UI looks a lot more crisp than it did at E3, and the combat and the animations are also a lot better than they were when I played it. So I think that they're making a lot of progress, and that's pretty exciting. Clearly, they're waiting for a reason, and while it sucks, you know, that they said a month or whatever it was that they said, and we've been waiting on every word, it's clearly being polished, and that's actually what I'm excited about, because as was mentioned, you know, we've dealt with a lot of early access games that haven't really been playable, and I hope that they're going to buck that trend.
Right.
Yeah, I have to tend to agree with that because, I mean, I think we're all really hungry for just a really good survival game, a really good experience. So, yeah, it does suck to wait, but I don't mind waiting. So,
Awesome. All right, so that was one thing I wanted to talk about is the zombies tonight. They did look a little like blah. Like like Fred and Bob looked fine as characters, but they didn't have. They were just sort of standing around while he was beating on them, which I think was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure if there was some scripted aspect to it. Like we don't want, like, the game, from what I understand, the zombies are supposed to be the main threat, even more dangerous than the players. And so it's like, okay, if that's the case, having this one guy solo doing a stream, between the possibility of, you know, being sniped by whether it's a developer or a player, or just being bulldozed down by a zombie, maybe they wanted to have them be more survival and have them not attacking. But I thought they looked okay. Okay, when I saw the first one, I thought it looked really, really good. But when they all looked the same, I was like, okay, I think that when they're chasing you, they're pretty effective. Up close, they do have a bit of a clownish look to them currently, I think.
Yeah, when we had Matt Broom on here, he explained that there's going to be like almost a procedural generation for the clothing and stuff. So each one, their faces might look the same, but the clothes that they're wearing will be changed, and he will have more faces as time goes by. So, we probably don't have too much to worry about that.
And they were definitely more aggressive when I played it.
Right.
So I don't know, if they're tuning it down intentionally or if that was too far down. Because yes, that was too far down.
They did claim it was bugged.
Yeah.
But I mean.
Yeah, they weren't playing on the regular server. They were playing on like a different build.
Yep.
Something like that. Just a reminder, everybody, this is a Q&A show, so we do try to answer questions. If you would, please just write your questions in brackets, write bracket, question, bracket, and then we will get to them in just a little bit.
Vamp Evil had a question that I think we can address right now.
Oh, let's do it. Mm-hmm.
Why did Jericho get to play H1Z1? And that's the same reason that Carnage is going to get to play H1Z1 tomorrow.
Yes.
It's because they're contacting streamers and flying them out to SOE and letting them play.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Very awesome.
I don't got my ticket, but still it's pretty awesome. But yeah, so that's one thing I wanted to bring up was that everybody, our friend and buddy, Mr. Carnage, will be out at Sony tomorrow, and he'll be streaming H1Z1. Jericho was streaming for 2 hours, so I'm guessing that's probably what they're going to do is just limit it to like a 2-hour slot for Co. Co would probably like to go 18 to 20 hours probably, but I guess it'll be about 2-hour block of time. I don't know exactly when it's going to be. Co will let us know when we find out. Did he tell any of you guys what time he was going to be doing it?
He posted it on Twitter, so I know that it exists somewhere.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry,
go ahead.
I think it's the same time as the Jericho stream, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. PST.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I just pulled up the tweet. That's what it is. 3 o'clock.
All right, so I want to address the big elephant in the room. What do you think this game is going to do to DayZ? And all of you here are players of DayZ, Bike Man, North. You guys play a lot, and Tangent too. Everybody, yeah. Hazardous Mouse, have been watching you play it all week. So, what do you think this game is going to do to DayZ in a more global sense? What do you think?
Personally, I think that it definitely has the ability to, I might be a little harsh here, but literally just demolish DayZ, at least in the meantime, because from what we've seen, I played the mod for a long time for Arma 2 and DayZ. When Standalone came out, everybody flocked there, and then eventually, within about 2 months or so, you saw everybody start to flock back to the mod for Arma 2. Mm-hmm. If this is handled correctly and the game releases with really good reviews and in a really good state where they just have the basic foundations there of a good survival experience, it could really do a lot of damage to DayZ since they're basically going back and rebuilding major parts of the engine all over again. That's my opinion.
Bike Man, what do you think?
Well, if they play their cards right, yeah, they're going to get everyone flocking over there. But at the same time, I think Rocket would be like, thank God.
You think
I think he'd be like, finally, go away, and then I'm going to do what I'm going to do, you know?
Do you think he's leaving? Because his announcement to leave was just right after H1Z1 was announced, like pretty soon around that same time.
He had been talking about leaving for like a long time before then. And, I mean, I filmed the DayZ Dev blog and traveled around to GDC and PAX with him. And he sat down with interviewers, talked about leaving the company.
Okay.
Like at the exact same like time period. So everyone like got really like they all flipped out at that headline, but it was like, you know, welcome to the party who had been here.
Okay, so you guys already knew, but I had no idea. It was sort of struck me as a shock. I was like, what? He's leaving?
Yeah.
It was really bad timing because I think at that point they had like 1.5 million copies sold, so it was just really bad timing. But if you think about it, like he's not home. He misses being in his own country at home with his family, so I think that's a lot to do with it. So
he's the only dev that I know of that wears his heart on his sleeve as much as he does. You know, he seems really invested in the game, of course. But when War Z was announced, didn't that's when he started talking about he became suicidal and he had to go join the army and he was like trying to clear his head and everything? Wasn't that about the same time War Z kind of showed up on the scene around that?
Yeah.
Am I got the timing wrong, North? Because I know you're a big War Z guy, so.
I think it was when his family started mistaking War Z for his game.
Okay. Kind of like he just tripped the switch and he's like, okay. Because he became suicidal. He was talking about he was like had to be medicated and stuff like that to help with that.
Well, his whole experience, like the way he came up with DayZ, if I remember correctly, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but he came up with the idea when he was in the military through his experience that he went through, I think, through one of the trainings or whatnot. That's how he came up with the idea. So it's a really amazing story, and we could talk about what DayZ's done right, what DayZ's done wrong, but if you think about that guy, just in general, Dean Hall, and what he's done for just the genre of survival games, I think it's going to open up the box, like Pandora's box. So now we have H1Z1, yeah, we had War Z, we have DayZ. I think we're going to have some really cool games that are those that engulf that type of experience.
The guys, real quick before we go on, if you have questions, you can ask them just once. We have somebody grabbing them up and sticking them in the chat. I see a couple of them coming by, the same questions repeated. It's okay, we'll get to them. Just hang in there. What do you think? What do you think about the future of other games that might be sort of in the same genre, like Rust? Because Rust is sort of on that, you can build things, and that may sort of set it apart. And of course, Rust no longer has zombies, so I guess maybe that's a bad example. But that kind of building, maybe Forest or something like that. These kind of games that are sort of innovative in that they've taken the building aspect, but they don't have the whole cohesive thing put in. What are you guys thinking about those kind of games?
I think that H1Z1 is going to trend a bit more MMO than some of these other ones. Just a bit. So I think people who aren't interested in that aspect are going to be more likely to play some of these other games, since there won't really be a single player H1Z1.
I don't think realistically that the release of H1Z1 is going to have that large of an impact on the DayZ Rust communities. Sure, there might be some shrinking in those communities, but people like the games that they're used to. I mean, there's definitely going to be the equivalent of a console war for these kinds of things. People are going to be fanboying for DayZ, H1Z1, Rust, so on and so forth. I do think that there's a real negative stigma lately about this kind of genre. Whenever the topic comes up of another survival zombie game, people usually roll their eyes like, oh, it's like another zombie survival game.
Like Unturned.
Like Unturned.
Just showed up today.
Which, by the way, surprisingly polished.
Really? I know I played it myself. Not bad.
And, but yeah, I think that the stigma that is more important here is that H1Z1 is going to have a lot of pressure, because there's a lot of hype for this game right now, and everyone's saying it's going to basically destroy DayZ, it's going to annihilate the whole genre and be the be-all, end-all. And if it's not, then what happens? Yeah. Because then all of a sudden everyone says, okay, no, we took all the best things of the top games of this genre, and it didn't work. Now what? So I think it's more important that H1Z1 really actually lives up to the hype that it's putting out. Otherwise, it could probably damage the genre even more.
Absolutely. I mean, how many times? I mean, I think everybody here could agree that we've been burned by early access games in the past. God. So, we'll see.
I call it the Phantom Menace syndrome, where you want something to be good so bad you're willing to overlook and blind yourself.
That's so sad.
It's true. You're absolutely right. I mean, I think I was blind to SWTOR for a while when it first came out. I was like, this game's great. And then the more I played it, I'm like, this is such a WoW killer. And then that didn't happen.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did that with War Z when it first came out.
Yeah, War Z as well. Well, War Z, I will have to say this. War Z, what it did do right was that it was a single game that you just started up. Okay, at the time you were having to use DayZ Commander and stuff to get into the mod. And then you could just start up the game, and it functioned fairly well. You could run around, you could fight zombies. They didn't run through walls. Things like that were just sort of like, things that weren't working that well in DayZ that they did seem to kind of pull out fairly well. What were you going to say, North? Looked like you want to say something.
Well, I mean, in general, War Z was... I don't know. I felt like it was just like the other early access games as it was, really buggy actually on release. I mean, the zombies didn't even work on day one of the alpha. They didn't move. But, back in terms of the general topic, though, you talk about games that are waiting for H1Z1 that are probably going to die out. War Z is number one. It's only really being kept alive by its top streamers right now. And all of them have stated they're moving to H1Z1 on release.
Nice.
So, it's a lot of the survival MMOs genres right now. A lot of them are getting ready to hop off those games and move on to the next. So
that brings to a good question. Is I think all of us here are going to probably play it when it first comes out, and then what? Do you think it has the staying power to be like something you can keep going back to time and time again in months to come?
That's what I hope for.
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah. I'm thinking if a game as broken as DayZ can be, still retains so many players, something so functionally broken. My community has its own DayZ server, and despite all of the issues that I hear them constantly complaining about, they still play the thing because they're used to it. There are aspects that they do enjoy, yet so they still, and years and years they've been playing this freaking game. And so I think as long as H1Z1 can do some stuff right and set a sort of a benchmark, they might not make the best survival sort of zombie game ever to be ever made, but as long as they can get the majority of their stuff right, I think they'll retain a lot of playability, especially if it's like they say that things are going to get progressively harder as you journey around the world, and nothing's sort of static, where the zombies aren't just all the same level. The minute you start getting a minigun, you just OP and you just own the game. So I think definitely there's the replayability for them. And as they keep adding more content like they say they are, I think that'll also add to it as well.
Now, you guys might know better than I do, but are they coming up with some sort of new engine for DayZ? Didn't they announce something recently that something's changing with it?
Yeah, they're basically going back. They're taking big chunks of the engine and they're just rewriting it all over again.
Yeah.
It's not completely from like scratch. They're just kind of taking bits and pieces, and you'll see some of it released here and there. But yeah, technically overall, it's going to be.
Yeah, they've already got the ragdolls up on experimental right now, which are quite nice actually.
What's it like?
The ragdolls, they're not over like the top ragdolls, like the crumple to the ground when you shoot someone. Like actually feels a lot better than a stock animation.
Okay.
It really adds something to it, grittier.
Okay.
Aren't they also testing the 64-bit version as well too in the experimental?
I don't know if that's come out yet.
That's what somebody told me the other day. I tried to play. I'm a huge DayZ fan, but I had a really hard time playing standalone the other day. I just couldn't join a server. It was really weird.
It's still a pain.
That's my biggest beef, and I was talking about earlier that I had some problems. It's that when I saw that standalone was coming out, what was it, 2 years ago or whatever, when he announced it at Gamescom, I think, that I was like, oh god, yes, I can't wait, because I was playing DayZ like crazy before that, and I wasn't even a streamer at that point. I just played the hell out of the game as something fun to do. And I saw that it was coming out, and I was like, so I started playing in January of this year, 30 Days of DayZ, right? When did Standalone come out in January? Whenever it came out, I started that day and did 30 days solid of it. And I was the whole time going, I'm very forgiving of this game because it's still early access, like I am with Landmark. I'm like, okay, Landmark's not perfect, but, for the most part, it's fun and I'm having a good time, but things are buggy, that's okay. And I kind of let it all pass. And then I said, I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in August, I'm going to play DayZ again, and I'm just hoping all this stuff is fixed. And I've been playing it, the standalone, the last few days, trying it out, and it's still the same game. That's like they've added only a couple new, like little textures and some little new things to pick up and stuff like that. But the zombies are still sort of running through walls sometimes, and they're still doing a lot of the same stuff that they always have been doing. And I'm just a little bit disappointed.
For me, when I first got into DayZ standalone, I mean, I knew I was getting into an alpha project, but at the same time, I guess I was expecting something at least profoundly different than the things that were wrong with the mod. And I thought they were going to put a real faster timetable on cranking out some of those updates that they were talking about. But for me, the big... I think user interface is everything. And one of the things that it was mentioned before, people who complain about DayZ all the time still play the game. I hated the DayZ interface, like all the tricks you had to pull just to swap your backpacks and things like that. But I still played it. I guess I thought that was the one thing I thought was better though about the standalone project when it first came out, was the inventory system seemed to be at least a bit more forgiving to newer players. That was big. But I guess I just expected more. And I think that's what we're seeing with early access nowadays, is that the way that early access is in the fine print is this is a broken alpha thing, you are testing bugs. But the way that they basically advertise it on, on Steam, for example, basically almost makes it look like a complete experience. So it's
Stomping
like
Lands or Stomping Grounds.
Stomping Lands is a really good example, and it's just, I think that the average gamer is not going to really read between the lines and actually look into a game before they realize that, hey, this thing's actually pretty broken and needs to be tested.
Mm-hmm.
So the early access phenomenon that everyone can now pay into instead of getting their key in the email, I think DayZ was a good example of people kind of getting bit initially. Like they thought they were getting into, like, oh, this is going to be the thing that just kills the mod, and it was kind of the same. And as they were saying before, people went back right after.
Yep.
It also shows the insane amount of warnings you can put on something and people still don't pay attention.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
It's like when I used to work at retail, you could have a big sign that said sale, this item, in huge letters. People were like, what's on sale? Look up.
Yeah.
What game is this that you're streaming?
Yeah.
Oh, I get that.
Kids
Yeah,
title.
I get that all the time.
Yep.
All right.
Don't get me started on that.
Well, unless you guys have anything else you really wanted to discuss straight up, we have a bunch of questions in the chat, so we could start answering these questions. Sometimes these take a long time to go through, sometimes quickly, so we can go through. Skylar, would you like to be our question lady tonight?
I can do that.
Okay.
I love that this is the very first one. My God. Farting Titman would like to know if anyone thinks...
Is that the first one? Okay.
Yes.
Well, you
if
missed...
anyone thinks... Well, no, I didn't, because we already answered that one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Will there be player housing and player cities, do you think? Well, obviously there's going to be player housing because we're building our own bases. As for player cities, like, zombies are attracted to more humans, so I guess that's up to us if we want to take that risk.
I could totally see my tribe getting together with, like, Tangent's group, and we could just all, like, build this massive base, and it could become a city.
Who's going to be the governor, though?
I mean, it's going to be like a tent town, though. I mean, we're not talking like skyscrapers. So if people are saying, are there going to be player cities? No, you're not going to have a skyscraper, unless it's like basically burned down and condemned, and you've got like a dirty mattress you're sleeping on, like the top tier. Building your bases together is basically going to be the closest equivalent to a player city.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've stated that the biggest sort of buildings that they've got at the moment at early release will be like an apartment building, which will be maybe 3 or 4 stories high. So you don't expect to see a metropolis or anything. And as far as crafting houses go, I think they said the highest they're going to go to start with is 2 stories. So you can make a 2-level dwelling, and that's about as big as you could go. So
Absolutely. All right.
T-Bonks, will there be mini maps or something like Arma's LL map? And I don't know about that.
I don't think so. No, I haven't seen it. They want to try to keep the UI as minimal as possible.
Like that.
Yeah, because and that was like the big deal. Like when you first started playing DayZ, you guys can back me up if I'm wrong about this, but the best part when you first got into DayZ, finding a map, because up until that point you were just like, where the hell am I going? And you felt really lost. You didn't know what was happening. You didn't know the landmarks at that point, and it was just awesome to get a map.
Finding my first map in DayZ felt amazing until I realized I had no idea where I was.
On the map, yes.
Because it was my first, I was like, yes, I got a map!
Where's my dot?
It's all in Russian. Where am I?
I'm next to giant Robo-Stock. What?
Yeah,
Time.
Electro something or other.
Yeah. Electro Woodstock.
Electro Woodstock.
But yeah, that was one of the charms I thought about DayZ, was a lot of people hated it that you had to find your friend, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That you would travel forever, and they were like, this is annoying, but I was like, nah, it's not, because, you know, it's like that boring part of the movie. You're like, this part of the movie's boring, and then crazy action happens, and you're like, oh my god, I care about these characters because it was boring. You know, you spend all this time, the effort, and you get to each other, and it's triumphant, and then when bullets start whizzing, you're like, we spent all this effort to make this thing happen, it's a beautiful miracle of meeting each other, and this one bullet could end it, and that makes the tension just ratchet. So yeah.
Well, no, that is the beauty of survival games. That's probably one of the things I love the most about it. And what you're saying tonight is exactly what Coase said a couple, like podcast back, is it's the journey. It's that trying to get together where you have, you know, hours and hours of running because you spawned in some freaking upper left-hand corner of the map and he's on the coast, and now you got to figure out where do you want to go. Is one person going to like hunker down and wait and the other person comes to them, or are you going to try to meet in the middle? And then if you both are armed and you try to meet in the middle, do you like recognize each other? Don't shoot, you know, and is it, you know, all that kind of stuff adds a lot of tension, and it's a fun part of the game. It doesn't have to be constantly shooting at zombies or, you know, just crazy action all the time. Just sometimes the journey is a good story as well. All right, Skyla.
All right, Lixon. Does anyone know how the logout system will work? Do they have a system to prevent combat logging? They did just do a Reddit post about this a couple of days ago, if anybody saw that. That's if you sit quietly in the world for 30 seconds during logout, you will log out. If you just close the game, you will be persistent in the world for 30 seconds, but there is nothing solid aside from that at this point. What do you guys think about, you know, your character actually staying in the world, all the rest?
Like
That's fine with me.
I dealt with that in EverQuest and games like that way back. I mean, pulling the internet cord out or anything used to be what some people do, but I mean, staying in the game for 30 seconds, I think that sounds pretty fair, because combat logging was pretty crappy to have that happening. You know, having an intense fight where you're playing fair and then all of a sudden it's just poof.
It's happened to me tons of times on DayZ, and I'm glad on standalone they started instituting the whole timer thing, because I think that was the only thing they could do. People were combat logging left and right. Somebody's just going to say something. Sorry, I interrupted.
Well, they also have that on the DayZ mod as well, too. Like, it will actually be announced to the entire server, somebody combat logs.
Oh, really? See, I
name and shame.
Yeah.
Really? What's it say?
It will say, like, so-and-so combat logged, literally, like, white text on your screen.
Yep.
Now, sometimes that could happen to somebody who, like, legitimately, like, their game crashes.
Yeah, it can happen. Yeah. But maybe if you're actually, like, in combat and you're getting wounded and the game can sense that, then it sees you log, it's obvious that that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the mechanic is that basically if there's gunfire going on within a certain radius of you, you are deemed in combat. And if any logout is done, whether it's not a DC or whether it's you physically, you know, Alt F4ing or whatever, it registers as a combat log. And then depends on the iteration of DayZ you play, but sometimes you spawn back in with low health and you're encumbered for a period of time.
Oh, really? That's fantastic.
Yeah. Some servers run a what's it called? It's been such a long time since I've played. It's not respect. It's something else. It's basically if you're good, you get good points. If you're bad, you get bad points.
Karma thing or something?
It's kind of like karma. I can't remember what it's. Someone will correct me in chat. But basically, you'll get if you were good, you'll get a massive reduction in that. Like it'll take a big chunk of your karma off, so you'll have trouble, you know, maybe dealing with NPCs or something. Or if you were like on borderline, it would take you down and you'd make you a bandit. So you'd have to, you know, kill bad guys to raise your karma up again. So there's definitely a penalty for doing that. And I hope H1Z1 has something similar to it, or at least just staying in the world for 30 seconds. If you were deemed in combat and then you log, then, you know, it's like, you're right there, sunshine. You're not going anywhere. So that's cool.
Sleepers is one of those things that's it's an odd thing because you're not there, so you have no way to defend yourself, you know. So while I agree that your character should probably stay in the world just because it adds more immersion, you're not there to actually defend yourself. So people can come do all kinds of stuff to you, nasty, sticky things. So I don't know. What do you guys think about sleepers? Should they keep you in, or what do you think, North?
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of sleepers. Like if I log out for the night, you know, I sit for the log out time or whatever it is, you know, and I want to come back to my progress the next day just to find out, you know, someone that was on while I was asleep comes and kills me. That's not really fun in the gameplay aspect, in my opinion. But you know.
The game world would potentially have to be super large to support an idea like that, I think. So. Because that would really suck. You know, you go to sleep for 8 hours, you come back, and you've been murdered.
Right, and all your stuff's gone. Which happened in Rust all the time. I mean,
it was brutal.
Yeah, I had
roving gangs of 12-year-olds, man.
Yeah,
roving gangs. You don't know what I've seen.
The very first time I played Rust, I built a little shack, and I was all happy with myself, and I had like this nice little shack, and This dude comes up to me with a gun. He's like, drop all your stuff. And I'm like, no. So I ran inside my house and closed the door. Well, he sat there hacking at my door with a rock for like 8 hours. I'm not joking. I left, and I didn't realize that I was on a sleeper server, and I come back, and he's still whacking at the door. This was like an hour later. I went to go get something to eat. I'm like, I'll come back, dude, to be gone. He's sitting there still, hitting the door. That persistence is, it was epic. So I came out of the house and like, okay, dude, just kill me. For fuck's sake. You know, you're wasting my time.
It's not fun if you want me to. I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God. All right, Skyla, what we got next?
All right, Cyphera, what is the biggest change you hope to take place in H1Z1, which other zombie survival games haven't lived up to?
Yeah, let's go around the room and just go everybody. So, Bikeman, what do you think?
What was it? Sorry?
What do you think that H1Z1 is going to do that other zombie games haven't lived up to?
Like the streamer said when I was watching it is so much more responsive than DayZ, and it looks like, let's face it, in atmosphere it looks like DayZ a lot, but more polished.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's got that whole overcast, sky, and the responsiveness of character action looked really good.
Yeah, I really look forward to like the weather changing, like from maybe spring to fall to winter. I really like to be immersed in stuff like that. And then I guess the second thing would be like base building. I want somebody to nail that down. And I really want a good base building experience.
Yeah, we can talk about that weather in a second because they did show snow. Agent North, what are you thinking?
A zombie game where zombies work?
Yeah. Is that your biggest thing? That's like...
I mean, I'm sitting here playing these zombie games, and none of the zombies are really a threat or really work. Either they walk through walls, or they're really just a joke, and it's made into a PvP game like the past few open world zombie games. So that's my biggest thing I want to work and want to change.
Their zombies look creepy, and like I can extrapolate like it's early now, but it looks like when they're going to work, it's going to be scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if they mob mentality. Oh.
Yeah, and for those in the audience might not know what we're talking about, there's a feature of it where it's called heat map, right, or something like that, right? Where they can, when like you're walking through a forest, if one of them starts attacking you, jumps out of a bush and starts attacking you, that commotion that's going on generates heat, and all the other zombies that are within the area go, oh, look at that, and then they start walking over and trying to help out. So you start off with, okay, I got one, I got this guy, it's no problem, I got an axe, I'm going to take this guy out. And before you know it, you got 15 more on you. And it's this whole mob thing that's just, it's very intimidating. All right, so let's see, Tangent, what are you thinking?
What do I want?
Yeah, what would you want
to deliver that
other
zombie games have not? A finished game. That's what I want.
Yeah, I'm with
I just want one finished survival horror game in a sandbox environment. That's all I want. I want it to be finished.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. If it works, if it's responsive, if the zombies work, if the game works, if the crafting works, great. Pack it up, sell it, I'll buy it. Day one, I promise you.
Stream the hell out of it.
Yes. Just somebody out there, finish a game, please. That's all.
That's all, exactly. Stockus, what are you thinking?
I kind of want a lot. I'd like a combination of a bunch of what everyone's already said. I mean, I guess I want zombies that work. I want the interaction and the UI to feel clean but responsive. I think out of everything though, I want when I'm in the game and I've got my lights off and I'm sitting there and it's dark, I want to feel like I'm in danger. I want that experience that if I'm not careful with what I do, I'm dead and I'm in trouble and I've just spent an hour trying to collect stuff. Not in the dead, like you run through an open field in DayZ and someone just sits there on top of, the Cherno apartment buildings,
yes.
taking you out, or sitting on Sniper Hill or something, just waiting for you to go into the fire station or something. Yeah. Whatever, I don't want that. I want basically there just to be this real feel of terror every time I go into a building looking for some water or a can of beets or something. So I'm looking for that because I'm still haven't got that out of any of the games yet. So
on that topic, not to interrupt, but I think that this game is going to be really effective with that, because there's one thing that this game has done really well so far. Their music is phenomenal. It's so immersive. It's so atmospheric. It just stressing me out watching the guy play today. It's just, I really think that they're doing the right things to make that immersive experience of being, while you're looking for a can of beans or beets, just having that right music in the background is going to be absolutely key.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever you think about, how it looks on stream and how it looks when other people are playing it, it is definitely one of those games that when you get your hands on it, it is that much better.
I bet, because it's not pixelated. And
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so last one, Skyla, what do you think? What do you think would make the game for you?
I am excited to have a game that's gonna be hopefully more strategic, hopefully not just an all-out PvP war all the time, and something that has a little bit more depth to it. I had that a little bit with 7 Days to Die, but that game was kind of busted.
Yeah.
So having a game that's done and finished, and with the backing of Sony, who will actually do that for us, I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, Sony has a good chance to finish it, but remember, when this game comes out, right, in a couple of weeks or whatever, the early access starts, I think we're all going to be so excited to play it that it's still going to be buggy. It's still going to have those bugs, and so I hope that people just don't give up on it right away after they watch us play it and be like, oh my god, I fell through the earth, or this zombie just killed me from a mile away with one shot.
If people still play DayZ.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's very true, Bikeman.
There's definitely a thirst.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. I mean, we were watching the stream today, and I understand that Jericho is a fairly large streamer. He's got 150,000, followers and everything like that. But it jumped up to 7,000 or 8,000 in seconds from him starting. That's just showing that there's just that much interest in a game that'll work. It's gonna be epic.
And that's why I hope that Sony plays their cards, because they have all this money and power and business behind this game, and I hope they make it right, because they could do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we have zombies turn into helicopters and be transformers, sure, well, we could do that. Let me just tap these keys because we're fucking got mega rigs everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Render
it in 30
Sorry,
seconds.
I swore, I didn't mean to.
Yeah. It's okay. We love the Sony around here. All right, Skyla, let's go to the next one.
From Gaming Sean TV, do you think big groups or clans are going to be dominating servers?
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you have a big group of survivors, whether they're heroes or bandits rolling around, the other person is at a disadvantage of some sort. But that's kind of exciting. It's like the whole survival experience. How do you adapt to that situation?
I don't know if there's going to be formalized guilds or things like that. I know that they're using the PlanetSide 2 engine, correct?
Mm-hmm.
For all this?
1,000 peoples.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, they have an outfit system, which is basically a guild system in there, so they could pull anything from that. But it's absolutely, yeah, if there's going to be guilds in the game, or people working together, they are going to have a distinct advantage over
the Coalition and the Vikings working together. You might as well just switch to a different server. It's gonna be...
Yeah, it's funny. I had a discussion with a couple of guys in the TeamSpeak server about that exact thing, where you've got someone like Co, who can potentially have hundreds to thousands of people wanting to be on his team and join in on his experience. I mean, Arcage at the time with $150 buy-in,
right.
He had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in his clan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just ridiculous. Think of what it's going to be to a $20 early access free-to-play game when people don't actually have to pay to get in. They could potentially populate an entire server, but I think that will work against them to the point where it'll just be them twiddling their thumbs going, oh, this is good. Sure, they'll have the zombies to fight against, but...
When you start getting enough gear, it's like in DayZ probably, it won't be as big of a deal when zombies show up,
Well, in numbers too, when you've got 50 people who are armed to the teeth, a small horde of 20 or 30 zombies may not be anywhere near as dangerous as if you were one person and you come across 5 zombies. But yeah, I think, sure, they might, take over a server and completely populate it, but they're going to end up fighting between themselves. It's not going to be the experience that we might be as a group of 20 or 30 people trying to, work together as a couple of different groups, trying to survive in a potential population of, a couple of hundred people that are on the server. So, yeah, it's most definitely going to happen, but, I don't think it's actually going to benefit them in the end. I mean, to start off with, it may be fun, 100 people all ganging up on the odd group of 3 guys that come in as a group of friends, but in the end they're going to get sick of it, I think.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be one of the biggest challenges of this game too. Is they've said time and time again they want to put an emphasis on cooperation. They want the zombies to be the main show-stopping enemies, but they want you to be wary of the players, but want to work together. Games like these always turn into PvP. It always turns into PvP deathmatch.
It should. I mean, that's kind of in a real-world situation.
Yeah.
If you're out there and I'm out there and we've only got one can of soup between us, it's battle to the death for that can of soup.
Absolutely, and I agree with that. But from a marketing standpoint, it's usually only like the real hardcore players that are going to be coming back over and over and over again. The ones that aren't going to be discouraged and say, "Hey, yeah, this is the state of this game." For early on, I think that if there's too many large factions kind of dominating each server, it might push some people away.
Yeah. That's potentially that could happen, but how exciting would it be if it's just like us 3 trying to take out that group, though? I think that'd be a lot of fun as well.
Well, see, I'm the type of person who would say that's amazing. Like,
yeah.
I'll do that.
The adrenaline rush alone would just be absolutely amazing. It'd be a lot of fun.
It's like Rick and his group trying to take out the governor in their area.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm hoping that they offer some other avenues besides just killing other players, like just so you can meet some bizarre individuals, like acoustic guitars, banjos, stuff like that. So you could meet like the traveling musician, or like in the Stalker, they had the guy around the fireplace with the acoustic guitar playing, set that atmosphere. And you could have the players who don't want to shoot anyone but go around and do something else, and then there's just a variety of cool stuff.
It's a good idea. All right, Skyla.
All right, Cyphera. Is hype a dangerous thing in game development, or would you consider it as more of a modern marketing tool?
And both.
Yeah, it's kind of both, right?
We got hyped because we were told it would be, 4 to 6 weeks for release, and then that's been 3 months.
It's a marketing tool. I mean, look at Watch Dogs. I mean, look at that. Like, the game's a new IP. Look how many copies it sold for a game being a new IP. I think it broke a record, so I definitely think it's marketing.
I think that in our community too, as like streamers on Twitch, it's a bit different. So somebody who's not a streamer, someone who doesn't watch Twitch, they might get an email on game FAQs or something like that. For us, we actually get to see, like, today 7,000 people showed up within the first 5 minutes of the stream starting. You get to see how many people in this community want to watch, want to play this game.
Yep.
So I think that the nature of the Twitch machine is that people in our community are going to feed into, overextend, and read into the hype a lot more than people who are non-Twitch viewers. So I think the whole phenomenon of the hype doesn't really exist outside of like the YouTube and the Twitch and the social media world, because we're the people that's here watching it become a big thing because so many people are watching it live and in person. I think that's
like
what
in the
gives
eye of the storm.
Exactly.
All right.
Agreed.
Okay. It was like
Yay, everybody agrees.
awkward silence. Yeah. Go ahead.
Group hug. My name is Taylor, and I'm pretty sure the answer is no, but I'll see if anybody else has heard anything. Will there be quests to get weapons and stuff? Like Fallout?
No, I don't think so. Not that I know of.
Unless players do it.
Yeah.
That would be
exactly.
really cool, though, if there was.
That would be cool to do like a player thing. Yeah, like, hey, man, I hid a gun under a tree in a box. Go find it.
Yeah.
So.
Where are you going?
North's like, fuck it. I'm out of here. I can't stand
It's
it.
like,
It's done.
All the people were talking about his headphones in the chat.
People make fun of his pink headphones. They're like, throw them to the ground.
And now he's
That was a
back.
really short rage.
Yeah, he was like,
That
"I'm raging."
Shortest rage ever.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm out. All right, so
Okay.
go ahead, Skylar.
As Karath, will there be any kind of vehicles in H1Z1, and can we craft them ourselves?
There will be vehicles, yes. Crafting, I don't know.
There's going to be a lot of vehicles. A dev did say in the stream before the last one that the plan is to make every single vehicle repairable. That's the plan. That's what they want to do. In a perfect world, that's what will happen. If there's a vehicle, what they want is you'll be able to repair it and make it functional for some period of time.
So get prepared, because Mechanic Simulator's on Steam right now. I think it's on sale.
Yes.
Might be a little different than in the game, yeah.
Yeah, that was Greg and Clegg, wasn't it? That they were doing their build stream, and Clegg said, yeah, the idea is to have every single one. But then again, finding the stuff to repair them, though, is not going to be as easy as walk over to a trash can. Oh, all the parts I need to fix this car. Woo. So don't expect there to be like, Destruction Derby H1Z1 the minute you get into the game and everyone's just running around in not like DayZ in some of the mods where like every single vehicle is almost drivable, and so you just got 20 people driving around in SUVs crashing into each other.
Expect to carry that engine block in your pocket for probably a few days before it actually starts turning on.
I'd love to get a group of people together and board up a garage and become mechanics.
That'd be awesome.
That would be
I love that stuff. Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, it's
that would be awesome.
Cool goals.
And then, like, people could bring cars to you for a price. You like trade them soups and chicken and shit like that.
Or one of the aforementioned guilds will come by and just be like, "Give me all your mechanics shit."
And then you put sugar in his gas tank and tell him to fuck off.
That's what you do.
So yeah. All right, next.
Alrighty.
We have still a
Toxic
ton of questions
Green-
coming in.
We do.
Yeah.
We're going. Toxic Green Gecko. Will you be able to craft traps?
I would say yes. I think they talked about that. There'll be ways for you to build regular traps, deadfall traps like trees falling and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, Morwin. If you plan on running a guild of survivors, this is fun, will you be cutthroat or benevolent towards unknown players you run across in-game?
I'm always nice at first, and I always regret that decision every time.
I kill everyone on sight. My motto is trust no one.
Yeah, I have to say, though, a lot of the people that I play DayZ with now, I found them because I was friendly. And we built that relationship, and now they play with me almost on a regular basis. So it can work both ways. Sometimes you get screwed over in the end. Sometimes you might make a new friend. So.
Oops.
I like to play Insanity, so I'm just as likely to spontaneously execute a lieutenant just to show a new member how easy murder is.
Wow.
That's the kind
Watch
of fun
this.
stuff that goes on in my camp.
That's awesome. Just totally random. Like, I don't know what Bike Man is if he's in a mood today. Oh god, he's killed 3 of our members.
He was the oldest member and he just killed him.
2 days from retirement.
That's awesome.
All right, Phoenix Blade 2013. What do you guys think of the weather effects they've been showing off? I know Domo wanted to talk about this.
Yes, snow. Just because I don't get enough of it during the winter. Either do you, Bikeman, or Hazardous Mouse, or Mr. North. We love it up here in the
cold
Northeast.
actually impacts you.
Yeah.
I mean,
snow in real life, dude.
I don't know. I don't know how they're actually going to do it, though. I mean, are they going to do it as a rotation? Where if it's just like random weather, that's going to be awful. Like, oh, it's summer today, it's winter tomorrow, and that's going to be, or winter 5 minutes from now, that's going to be terrible. I even think that even having it in a weekly rotation would be kind of bad. Like I know Bikeman might like this idea, but part of me wants it to be like, is it wintertime in real life? Is wintertime in
like
game?
server like calibrated.
But yeah, it's like, okay, this month it is winter. It is.
I can
cold.
deal with that, man. Yeah,
I would like that, but I know that
I'm
wouldn't
immersed.
fly
Let's do it.
that probably wouldn't fly though for most people playing the game. But the weather effects look really good, and I hope they do it good. I hope that they pull off how they alternate between them well.
All right, it's real quick. It's the top of the hour, so I just have to announce our giveaway. We're giving away a copy of The Forest. So
We are?
yes,
Nice.
so
That's so exciting.
I know it isn't necessarily zombies, but it's a pretty polished game built by 4 guys who have a penchant for looking at naked boobies
Yes.
and men without
Yeah.
schmeckles. There's no schmeckles in that game.
Is that in the Steam blurb?
Yeah, it's in the blurb on the Steam. Yeah. So let me start the raffle up here, everybody. You have we're going to end it up at the end of the show. So the keyword is going to be forest.
Cool. Sorry, North. I think North had something to say.
Yeah, go ahead,
about the
North. I'm sorry
topic.
to
I saw him
interrupt.
trying to speak. I'm like, oh, poor boy.
Sorry.
It's all good. Yeah, as for the Weber goes, I mean, now how are they running server side? Is it server side or client side?
Server side.
Server side. So like, if everyone should be seeing the Weber at the same time, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Like, I know the big problem in DayZ was, you'd see Weber, not everybody else would be seeing the rain,
Yeah.
and
Not cool at all.
I do believe that they said they were doing seasons. Like, if you go in, certain servers would have different seasons to choose from. I believe.
Maybe.
I do believe they were saying something about.
You might have.
you
I
could
missed
choose
that
from
part. So
That's definitely
Well-
something they could do.
Yeah, with the server rule set vote system that they're coming up with, if a bunch of people wanted to play on a winter only server, you could vote for it, and they could make it just so that it's winter all the time, which would be cool.
Yeah.
Alternating seasons would be still cool, though. I mean, if you were to look at how quickly the day and night cycle passes, I could maybe see a week of real time might be a month in game time, roughly. So that way, over the course of a real life month, you go through the 4 seasons. So only every 4 weeks is it snowing, which I think might work.
Mhm.
Food and supplies became more rare in the winter and having to stock up. Oh.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
It'd be awesome.
Players huddling for warmth.
Get
Yeah, right.
desperate.
One place.
Yeah.
It should be like that. I mean, seriously, surviving the winter is significantly different than surviving in the summer for multiple reasons. Each
I mean,
one
the
has its own
wild-
challenges. Go ahead, sorry.
The wildlife is going to play a factor in the weather too, I imagine.
Oh, did you
Like,
see him
they-
fight
they-
that wolf tonight, by the way?
Yeah, that thing scared the hell out of me.
That was awesome. The wolf attacked and he set it on fire with his torch, and then he shot it in the head with an arrow. I was like, yes, fire!
Did they show any of the bears?
No bears, but they're in the. They did confirm that there will be bears.
Yeah, there was a tweet that went out, and they showed an animation of it just like standing up and roaring or something like that, without any details on it. But
Yeah.
I mean, if they do it right, the wildlife itself is going to be pretty ridiculous, particularly if you're fighting for resources during a winter exchange, competing not just with players but with animals.
I've always said that this makes a great zombie game, or a good survival game. The game itself, the environment should try to kill you. Like, you should have to worry about disease and cold and starvation. There should be the monsters or animals or whatever should be trying to kill you as well, and other players should try to kill you. So you should have a lot of stuff in the game trying to kill you, because then that makes it all the more important to survive. It's like, how can I survive through this onslaught of these different things trying to take me out, trying to take out my food, trying to give me disease, and all of a sudden I've got like scurvy or something, So all these different things, it should be trying to wipe you out.
That's a really good point. What that also does, it takes off the focus for people who get bored and they have all this gear, and now they're just looking to kill people. Now they have all these other elements they have to focus on.
Mhm.
So I like that.
A bear
Yeah.
just chomping on you.
Yeah. Clegg said in the last stream that they were aiming for the bear to be on early access release, so hopefully we'll see more. That's what he said.
It's terrifying, but it's also one of those things where it's like, is that really the priority? It's like with the forest. It's like, all right, we fixed a few of these bugs, but they're sharks now, all over the place.
Well, I mean, as long as they can implement it with, alongside the core gameplay mechanics, I don't see an issue. If they've got, someone dedicated to doing that, and that's kind of what he does, is just in-world creatures, then, it shouldn't impact on the rest of the core gameplay being developed, I hope.
Mm-hmm. All right, Skylar?
Yeah, we do look the same now. I understand.
No, yes, you get the same face now. No, it's just that Stockus is always my question guy. So
hang on. I'll let my hair out. And we
oh
can both...
yeah. Actually, Stockus has longer hair than Skyla.
Yes, he does.
Nice.
You got to dye it red, buddy.
This is great. Oh yeah.
It's very luxurious.
It's a bitch.
No. Are we twins yet?
No, not quite.
Okay.
There you go.
There we
Now you look just so much alike.
Question.
Sorry.
How do you feel about them needing to make zombies a bigger threat than players? And I mean, the context now is that they expect that players are a bigger threat than zombies. So, do you think zombies need to be more of a threat?
I think so. I mean, haven't they kind of gone back and forth on that? 'Cause I think when they first started talking about H1Z1, they wanted zombies to be more of a threat. Have they changed that now? Or
They're saying now they want players to be the bigger threat. Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to see
Does anyone else
zombies.
enjoy DayZ when the zombies were brutal? Remember back in the mod? Or if you like, I don't know, breathed out too loud, there were 800. You had to prone crawl through town.
I remember that. Yeah, I do remember doing all that. And it seemed
and like you sneak and like the zombie would path like across like you on the ground prone. You're like Jesus, and people shooting wild AKs were swarmed upon and eaten, and you could shoot someone in the leg and divert your zombies to them. That was fun. Come on.
I guess it'll take some balancing issues, but I do like them to be a little bit more important than the players, just because players will eventually get the great gear.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I already have a ton of survival games where players are shooting me in the face.
Right.
I got
Call
that.
of Duty, you know, you just jump out of Call of Duty. Everyone's trying to kill you there.
I think that Sony might be a little undecided about what they want to be the main threat, because it seems that each week they kind of somewhat change their stance of whether it's the zombies or the players that they want to be the bigger threat. I do know they said they're planning on making zombies a lot more resilient by the time it hits early access. So I'm thinking that maybe they're not going to be as damaging, but like if you really want to just kill zombies, it's probably going to deplete a lot of ammo to do so. It's not just going to be like headshot and they're done.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you guys think about that? I mean, a headshot should kill them, right? Or do you disagree?
Well,
I think a headshot should kill them.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
A headshot, though, but like 5 gunshots.
Basically, I think what's probably going to happen is like 1 or 2 shots to the head will kill, but probably 8+ to the chest if you do that.
I think I'm more of a fan of just many zombies, and if you hit them in the head, they go down. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Okay.
Okay, do we know if there will be any special zombies, such as the ones in Left 4 Dead or Dead Island? And I don't know if
I
they've
think
fully
not.
said that there will be...
No, I'm pretty sure
No.
that we talked. I think we had Klegman on one night, and we asked him that as a question directly, and he said no, they weren't planning on any kind of like a vapor or screamers or any of that kind of stuff.
Just different
jockeys.
different types of zombies, but not like more powerful zombies. Like crawlers and stuff they'll have,
Right.
and
And
ones that
outfits.
grapple onto
Iron
you.
zombies.
And outfits!
I'd like to see like Dead Island style enemies. Like you'll have the normal ones, you'll have like the brutish ones, you'll have ones that look like firemen, things like that. I don't know. I think that having that kind of diversity would be pretty good. I don't want screamers though, like another. No.
I do believe they said the whole system with the zombies is that they're going to be like evolving over time. I think that's what they're intending. So,
Yep.
I don't think no special zombies, which would be cool, honestly. Like you said, firemen or like military-based zombies, but
Well, the deal that they're trying to aim for, as far as I know, is the longer an infected or a zombie is alive, the more mutated the virus gets in them, or if they're constantly feeding on humans and wildlife.
They get stronger.
Kind of, yeah, stronger. Well, it's not so much that they lift and they beef up or anything, but they're.
Do you even eat, bro?
Yeah. Do you even maul my face, bro? No. It's more to do with the virus itself, whereas they're constantly feeding on different animals, the virus is mutating, which makes it just harder for us to kill. They didn't say, they didn't say specific special infected, no boomers, no
Jockeys.
Smokers, jockeys, none of that sort of gear. But you would definitely come across, if you're going into a small part of the world that hasn't been populated by a lot of people that, are just culling the zombies as soon as they see them. There may be a zombie that's lived there for weeks, and it's considerably harder to deal with because of the fact that its virus is mutated and it's been feeding on animals and stuff. So there will be harder to kill zombies, but they're not going to be pouncing on you out of bushes and, screaming rape and all that sort of stuff like
that
Left 4
one
Dead.
large gator down south that no one's seen, but it comes out after 50 years and it's huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's exactly like that. And they also said that there are going to be eventually different body types of zombies. So, there may be a big, gym rat dude that got eaten and he's considerably bigger and, therefore harder to take down. But, he's not specifically going to be a tank where he's going to charge you and all that sort of junk.
Right.
All right, next.
Okay, are there currently any plans for a ranking system, like to see the top 50 players on a server, how long they've survived, how many kills, etc.?
How long you survived, okay, but the rest of it, how are you going to rank it, How long you survived,
All the All-Stars.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, if it was how long you survived, you could literally, just go out in the woods somewhere and, live under a rock and don't ever go anywhere. Just run in town, grab a piece of food, and run back and hide. And so I don't know how you could actually ever really rank it. What do you guys think?
I mean, on War Z, they had a leaderboard system based on, kills, and there was the lawman and banditry brackets. If you killed civilians or lawmen, you go into bandits, and if you killed bandits, you go into lawmen. The whole system really just promoted nonstop PvP,
right?
And just promoted, and unfortunately promoted cheating in the long run too. It's generally, I'm against the idea. But if you could have a system of survival, days survived, like I said,
it's a good point, North.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're totally right. If it's going to be that kind of thing where it's an EP and stroking deal, then it's more of a problem than it's good.
And that's exactly what it turns into. Think about Battlefield 2 back in the day when they tracked stats at that point. It's what it turned into. Who has the highest kill death ratio? Well, that doesn't really mean anything. You're not really a team player just because you have the highest kill death ratio, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And who's to say that the guy back at the base cooking lunch for everybody every day or making biodiesel for your cars is not as important as the guy out shooting?
Well, he's the top chef.
Right,
So.
he's top chef. He makes biodiesel and he also cooks up a mean gumbo.
I'm not too worried about that with this game, though, because they kind of dealt with that in PlanetSide with the kill-death ratio, and they had a huge uproar about it.
I think they're probably going to learn a lot from games like PlanetSide that they developed. I think they're going to definitely learn from that.
Yeah. All right, Skylar?
Will there be makeshift weapons in the game, and what is your opinion on this? Also, what would be your makeshift weapon of choice?
Yes.
Rabbit heads on sticks.
Rabbit heads on sticks.
That's the weapon of the Domo tribe.
Yeah. I don't know. What would you guys like to see? Because there will be makeshift weapons. They've already said you can put all kinds of shit together and just make it go. Sort of like what's that game for Xbox or PS4 just came out?
I would like to be able to...
Dead Rising. Yeah.
I would like radios. I'd really like radios that would maybe actually let's do this. A juice box you could make into a bomb.
All right, juice box bomb. All right.
Yeah, so when they go to open to drink it, boom, they're dead.
Yep.
Nice use. That's great.
Don't pierce the back with the straw.
Or like the Capri Sun bags, when you put the straw all the way through, and you're like, damn it, why?
Oh, like cutting the red wire.
How about you,
I would
North?
like to...
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Go, Bike.
I would like to delimb a zombie and make a backpack out of it so no one can sneak up on you and melee you because it's got gnashing teeth.
Oh, a little like Michonne action.
Yeah, but wearable.
But wearable.
Fashion.
Very, yes. Dripping goo. Constantly.
I know Stalkus loves this idea. Thank you.
Just the possibilities in my mind are just like, first of all, when you said turn a zombie into a backpack, I'm thinking of those Yoda and those Wookiee backpacks, how it looks like you're piggybacking them, and I'm like a zombie, you're piggybacking a zombie or something, and then you're talking
just
about
aggressive. It's like nasty.
Its legs and arms are broken.
Like, don't mind him, but don't even try to like sneak up on me.
I love it. That's great.
Call them nipples.
All right, Tangy, what do you think?
Yeah.
I'd like being able to, I guess, manipulate the virus in a way. Like maybe not in like an elaborate way, like a crude way. Like, I don't know, coat a weapon with blood and be able to transfer the virus or do something like that.
They did say that...
Or research a cure.
At some point, there was supposed to be, if you died, you could come back as a zombie, or your character would come back as a zombie.
Yeah, that's still in the plan.
That's still in the plan, so...
Do you control it, though, or...?
No.
You can kill it and get all your stuff back, though.
Right.
So
it looks just like you.
Your dude, but zombified, walking around with all your stuff still on it, so you have to go back and kill the zombie to get your shit back.
Yeah.
My weapons are real simple ones. They've already made one. I suggested it to Jimmy when the very first time we had him on the show, which was being able to light arrows on fire.
Right.
And I saw them tweet a very short GIF of basically someone. It wasn't on fire, but when they shot the arrow, the deer burst in flames.
Nice.
So that was already one of my dream weapons, was just flaming arrows. The other one that they haven't really talked about, or I haven't seen them confirm or deny, is just something simple like Molotov cocktails.
That'd be good.
I don't want anything super elaborate, like a rabbit head on a stick infected with this virus and you've got to go around infecting people, but Molotovs work for me.
Hold on, we just can't ignore the fact there was a shaved cat on screen.
No, we cannot.
And I had to like bite my tongue to not say something about...
She's really excited right now, so she probably won't let me like wrangle her. But this is
okay.
Momo, and she's a long-haired Persian.
Oh.
And
Not anymore.
Because it's so hot over here, we had to actually like shave her for her summer coat. But yes, she's kind of like a peach cow.
Should have done it like a lion. made her like a lion.
What kind of is? It's good.
She's a good girl though. She's a good girl. Sorry that the broadcast was interrupted by cat.
No, that's fine.
No, I think chat loves cats.
Yes, look at all the cats. Look at all the Momo going by.
Cats do love cats.
Yeah. All right, so...
Being a mouse and all, though, I don't know.
Yeah, really, you
I'm
gotta
just
watch
kidding, I
out
have a
there,
cat.
hazardous mouse. You are a hazardous mouse, so it might be bad for Momo to attack you.
Maybe.
All right.
To be seen.
What about you, North? What weapon would you make if you could make one?
I mean, I don't know. I'm really simple when it comes to like, if I could just see a longer range melee weapon like a spear and have it be, working for a distance of a, longer distance melee, it'd be pretty cool. I mean, I've seen crafting with the melee weapons in some other games, and all of them have generally the same range. So, if I could make a spear, just fight them off at longer distance, that'd be nice.
Well, I for the life of me can't remember the name of the last guy. Do you know Domo? I shamefully forgot his name.
Oh, Greg Spence.
Greg, that's right. We had him on, and I did ask him about melee combat because he was predominantly in charge of the programming for melee combat, and he did confirm that the length of your melee weapon does make a difference.
Oh, yeah.
So length does matters, I'm afraid. But yeah, so if you have, say, a short kitchen knife, you have to get that much closer to physically strike them with it, as opposed to if you had like a long broom handle or something, you've got that length advantage. So there is that dynamic, but definitely a throwable version of if you could maybe, get some broken glass and duct tape it to the end of a broom handle or something cool like that. That I'd be for that too.
Yeah. All right. Next.
This is the last one.
Is it though?
Yeah.
It can't be.
Oh my God.
We just got one from Van Peeble.
What?
So, next to last
Well,
one.
I don't have one posted in here.
No, I think Bod took off and.
God damn it, Bod.
Are you sure? I'm going down. I see a bunch more. Oh, okay. No, you're right.
We're at the end. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Well, it's eating his sausages.
What do you think the devs of H1Z1 can do to ensure that their game doesn't suffer from the same pitfalls that has made other games of this genre fail?
Finish it.
Yep, finish it. finish
I
it.
think they're doing it right now, though. I mean, they easily could have released it at E3 and sold a ton of copies just like Daisy standalone. So I think they're on the right track right now, actually. So.
Yeah. Good point.
I just don't want to see it be like with the whole early access thing, having that be the excuse to have it be like, okay, this alpha is going to be far longer than it actually could be because we're basically going to treat it like a finished game and not actually roll out the updates as quickly as we would. So, timeline for finishing the game. That would set it apart from everyone else.
Okay.
I really think it's three main things. The one big one being the anti-cheat. I can't stress like the biggest killing thing of these online MMO games is the cheaters. You know, no one wants to lose like hours of work just to have someone fly by, kill them, and fly off. I mean, if in DayZ now, one of the big things for streamers is the cheaters who just stream snipe on the servers.
That was something I thought
hard.
that question came up and I didn't hear it answered. So maybe it got missed. Somebody was asking what we thought of stream sniping. Because we all are going to deal with it here.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
I mean, but Bike's the best one for this one. I mean,
but you like them, don't you, Bike?
Yeah, I like them. I left Arcade because the stream snipers drove me out.
So,
you love it.
What do you guys think? I mean, there's not much for them to build something into the game that protects us as streamers is kind of limited because most people won't be streaming it.
I mean, like the one thing that gives it away for one, I mean, it's really hard. I mean, there's a limited number of servers. You know, it doesn't take much for people to learn to recognize the map and stuff. I mean, honestly, I think at a party where stream sniping isn't going to be on a high one. I mean, unfortunately, streamers are the minority in the general major player base of people. So,
yeah.
I mean, to start off, I mean, DayZ is easy to stream snipe in the fact that it's been out for so long, the map's been memorized by a lot of the people. They can see where you are and know almost instantly, oh, you're over near Starry, or you're in the Blotter airfield. I know where you are. I know where a good vantage point for that thing is. So eventually I can see H1Z1 having the same issue. To start off with, though, the maps are going to be so, you know, they're going to be relatively big, I think starting 64 square Ks, which is still pretty big. And a lot of that terrain is going to be unknown. So I think it's going to be just pure luck if someone comes across you and you happen to be streaming and they happen to be watching you stream to start with. Because people aren't going to know off the back of their hand, oh, I know that rock, that's over near something, or oh, I've seen that bit of water before, I know where that is. I mean, eventually it's going to happen. I don't know that there's much they can do to prevent it, though. I mean, apart from you yourself as a streamer maybe delaying your stream an extra minute or something, which I know is a major, you know, pain in the ass, considering Twitch already delays the stream chat by like 30 to 40 seconds, depending on, you know, where you are. I mean, for me, it's even longer. Over here, we get anywhere up to a minute delay just in chat, just through, you know, just through Twitch, which is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. If you're going to stream snipe, make it fun. Take me back to your torture chamber or something.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we have a show. This is great.
Right.
But if you just come up shoot us in the head, like, come on.
Yeah,
I know,
don't
really,
just like
seriously. I'm just
snipe me
asking for a
and
little
then stare into
creativity.
the camera.
I lost my armored SUV the other day to some guy who kamikazed a Mozzie into us. It's like, I could have been so much more fun.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
I
you
mean,
know, like-
days. Sorry, you go back.
Sorry, I've dealt with stream sniping in like every game. It's just Arcade was a special case because it was particularly nasty. So yeah. I mean, stream sniping's fine, but when it becomes like I could take someone to court for what they're doing, like bad, that's what it was in Arcade. So I don't see that happening in H1Z1.
But you were underwater most of the time I watched you in
Well,
Arcade.
after, yeah, once I had my submarine, I was like, I can stream again. Who's gonna get me?
Right.
But DayZ standalone actually introduced the possibility of that kind of gameplay in when they brought in the handcuffs, and I don't know if they ever implemented it properly, but the Hessian bag, where you could put the bag over them head over the head of a player and basically blindfold them. You weren't killing them. You could keep them alive. Even when they were handcuffed, you could force feed them food, so you could literally keep them alive.
You remember you could spray the food with that disinfect or thing, and you could poison them.
Yep, and poison them with. So if H1Z1 could have small things like that, then that could be a show. Then I might watch that. That'd be entertaining. Handcuff them, put a Hessian bag, and then lead you off to some sort of zombie sex dungeon or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the zombie sex dungeon.
What I could see happening with this game, though, I mean, and if they have a server list of showing what the players are, which I imagine they have, that's going to be, how people know, oh, well, this person's in this server, it being more arcadey than a DayZ and such. Much like War Z, the big thing was, well, this guy's loot was still killing. Unfortunately, stream sniping is so common nowadays as Twitch becomes more popular, and this game's going to be honestly supporting it, if anything.
Cool.
Expect to get killed.
A lot. Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. Yep.
Do not get attached to your gear.
You need to have a posse.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Play the
Streamers
game.
Unite.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We protect ourselves by being friends.
Nice. All right. We've got a few more we can go through real quick, and we can finish up.
Sure, real fast, then we'll be getting swords. Do you want swords?
Why not? It's a melee weapon. Just
Find a sword on someone's
no,
wall.
not a sword, but you can take a piece of sheet metal or something and sharpen it.
No, you just stumble into some house, and then down in the basement there's like a fedora neckbeard zombie, and he's got like katanas all over the walls.
Yeah.
All over the walls, and there's like a medieval flail, and
And he's got a whole Ren Fair outfit on the right, so you like
exactly.
You know exactly what's going on in that basement.
And his last internet argument's frozen on the computer screen.
He who could not be killed. Yeah.
Excuse me. Excuse me, but I rolled a d20. That was a critical hit.
I think that my barricading method for my door is better than yours. I'm sorry. Plywood. Now he's a zombie.
Okay, so Rockhart, where would you like the H1Z1 map to go in terms of American influence?
There's a lot of questions about that because they've talked about before that it was going to be like an area of the United States, and then, but I haven't heard much about that since. It's
I want to see Six Flags, an abandoned theme park.
That would be cool.
Wonderful.
Actually, that reminds me of Left 4 Dead, but yeah, it would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Or what's the other game? Well, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say the main thing that I've seen that has arisen from people asking about, where this takes place, and they say sort of middle of America, sort of nowhere America, middle of nowhere, wherever. The biggest thing was people are saying, "Oh, it's the U.S. Then guns should be everywhere."
Right. I'm sorry, not all of us have guns everywhere.
Well, I mean, it's
How do you open your beers?
Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah. Stockus, how many kangaroos are sitting in your living room with koalas humping on them?
I'm not allowed to disclose that information.
And
at this
budgies that
time.
are outside. You probably have parakeets right outside your window, don't you?
Actually, I do.
Say
so I have,
fucking stereotypes.
I have to keep the windows closed because they're noisy. But yeah, so that was the biggest thing was like, so they were trying to drag a lot of different American subculture in. It's like, oh yes, there's going to be guns everywhere and all this sort of stuff. So they had to sort of put out that fire and say, yeah, no, weapons aren't going to be around everywhere.
It's the only stereotype that's keeping us from being attacked by some small third world country, by the way. I hope you realize that. So we will keep perpetuating this myth that we all have at least 20 guns in our house.
But, yeah.
They're all made of cardboard.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would like, if it's going to be anywhere America, I guess, I don't know. I'm not too sure what's sort of typically American in that area that would be an exciting thing. But something like an amusement park would be awesome, which may happen. They said eventually when the map starts expanding, it may expand to a part which has a larger kind of semi-metropolis feel to it. I don't know. I mean,
That would be great.
What's the sort of thing that I could expect if I was to travel through the middle of anywhere America? Because I don't know.
Nothing.
Largest ball of twine and a big, huge dinosaur that you can eat out of its belly.
True facts.
If I could pick a location, I would probably say Alaska.
Nice.
I mean, like,
that'd be good.
Alaska gives you the huge excuse for the open world with nothing in it, with everything from gold mines to large cities.
And bears.
Bears, diverse wildlife, diverse sea life. Not only that, but you could realistically run GM events like, okay, it's wintertime. Guess what? Nighttime is going to be going on for the next
6
few
months.
days.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So what do you say? Do we see a remake for Ice Road Truckers? What
Yeah.
up? I'm in.
Deadliest Catch.
Truckers,
Yeah.
3 days of night.
Deadliest
Exactly.
Catch.
Are we like? Sorry. Are we talking about like particular locations we'd like to see, like actual areas, or are we talking about locations you'd actually like to see in game? I mean, like a prisoner mall. I mean,
Either or.
I mean,
Yeah.
I personally, I'm a huge Dawn of the Dead remake fan. I would like to see an actual mall made.
Yeah.
Why
You know,
not?
Or an
It's like-
actual hospital.
Yeah. I mean, those locations would be pretty awesome if they made, model buildings for them to, be placed in.
Well, I think Clegg did sneak peek a small shopping center where it was like a full-sized supermarket that they had in early art at the moment. You see, it wasn't completely finished, but it was probably 4 or 5 times larger than any other building that I'd seen that they'd placed in World at the time. So there's definitely going to be much larger, but you're talking like full-on sort of mall with roller shutters and the whole deal, which I would love to see. And even I think Clegg even said that was one of the things that he really wanted to make.
Rockhart just said that. He said Clegg has expressed a huge interest in making a Dawn of the Dead style mall.
Yeah. He that would be his dream building to put into the game, to fit out an entire full-on sort of huge mall. And you guys have them everywhere over there, don't you? Like massive
They're
malls
dying
and stuff.
though. They're because of the internet and everything. They're becoming really empty.
Perfect.
What's it called? Is it Mall of America or something?
That
Mall-
is
Mall
not
of
dying.
America.
Yeah,
There's not-
one of them. I'd love that.
that has a roller coaster and a water park in it.
See, combining the loves of amusement parks and malls, why not?
Why not? And then zombies.
Yeah.
I'd like to see things that give you feels about the real world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I want to see, I don't want every single glowing container to contain like a bundle of sticks, a knife, and maybe some like cans of sardines. I want like the music box with the wedding ring and like the note about
Stop
visiting
sleeping around
grandpa.
with Charlie. Yeah.
Things like that. I want things to make us kind of really feel like there once was a world before what it's like now.
That's a great
That was
idea.
one of the things
Great.
that I wished for Daisy. I would like to have seen more art design. Well, they're kind of stubborn. They were like, the player creates their own story. But I was like, you could put some stuff in, like the school could have a locked room with a teacher skeleton and all the little kid skeletons, and she read to them, like starved to death.
Or
like
books
stuff
all
like
over
that.
the
It
floor.
would be like, oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they should be able to pull that off. The only thing that's kind of got me tripped out about the art, real quick, that we were just talking about it, is it's supposed to have been like a month or two, right? And all of the houses are completely filled with grass, and it looks like they've been abandoned for years. And I don't know, there's some kind of
Yeah.
disconnect there with the lore. But
Yeah, because they were
Yeah.
going for a longer time span, and then they shortened it to an
Yeah.
indeterminate whatever. I
Yeah,
don't-
it was going to be up to 20 years after, 15 to 20 years after the initial outbreak. But even Clegg did say that, and I think what Skylar just said, I think a lot of those art pieces or the buildings they'd created were created back when that was the idea. But Clegg, someone did ask in their stream whether or not they were going to see. They commented on the fact that all the buildings look run down, and were they going to see a variation in decay? And he did confirm there will be some built once it's ready to go. There'll be buildings that look like they were, just sold yesterday
Oh, okay.
with the sign out the front. And then there'll be various states of decay. He just said at the moment, that's all they've got, just because that was what was ready at the time. So hopefully they do enough of it that, you get the idea that there should be theoretically more, well kept to middle of the road houses than just, run down dumps like there are possibly at the moment.
Cool.
I mean, if they were going before initially for like the early on, like Domo, you made up a really great point about the grass growing in the houses, but the original timeline was like not very long into the viral outbreak.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what if there were like human NPCs, people that like looked like they could be players? Maybe they're just running from something, just to add that little bit of ambience.
Yeah, why not?
I'm huge on ambience. Like, I think that's one of the big things that's actually lacking in a lot of these games.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Well, go ahead. You want to say something, Mouse?
Yeah, we're really demanding as gamers. Cheers. Like, we want all this stuff, and we actually, I think it was brought up in one of the previous podcasts for H1Z1. We want to put all these things in, but versus production cost and the time that they have, I'd love to see all this stuff, but I don't know if it's really, if we're ever going to see that in a game. Like, I would love the ambiance to just be so great, so I can just engulf myself in that experience. But we find ourselves having to try to find other ways to do that, especially in DayZ.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Go ahead there, Skyla.
Okay. Randall Rars, what's the one thing that would ruin this game for you as a player?
For $5, you could have an AK-47.
Yeah.
Yep. Hands down.
Find on account.
Yeah, no matter how many times you die, it just respawns with you. That would do it.
Wow, you guys are easy.
Well, I think pay to win. Yeah, any kind of pay to win of any kind, even if where they sold where if you paid $5, it saved your house so that if you died, it was always there for the next week or something. Every week you could pay $5 more and get your house saved. I mean, I know they're going to have some money coming into this game, so there's going to be cosmetic items. Of course, you're going to be able to buy T-shirts and hats and maybe some kind of silly rabbit head on a stick that doesn't really do anything. But at some point, you have to keep that stuff just purely cosmetic, and hopefully it doesn't go into some kind of booster or something.
Yeah, and
Did
to
they
go
say if
back
they're
on...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Did they say if they're going to do private servers?
No private
They're
servers.
not.
Thank you.
Unfortunately. They didn't say that. Well, see, for me, I would like that. I would like to have like a smaller one to like have my stream community participate in.
I'm just so wary because of those server owners who are like, 50 bajillion guns spawn as a vehicle. The whole server's a vehicle. You are a gun when you spawn in, and you are Optimus Prime. And everyone goes there. They're like, I can immediately blow things up with my laser beam eyes on this server. I don't have to work for nothing.
That's right. I spawned in with a T-90 tank. Yes.
Yes. Seriously, I got roller skates, one on each foot, and it's just it killed the mod community for a long time in DayZ. It's just I'm wary of it. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, North makes a good point as well too. What would kill this game for me would be the cheaters. Like, so if that's rampant, and we have a lot of cheaters, that would definitely kill it for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cheaters, pay to win.
When I look at the pay-to-win thing, I think that being able to buy a weapon is an obvious no-no to me. But any sort of pay-for item that gives another player a distinct advantage, it would be a no-no to me as well.
Like a ghillie suit?
Ghillie suit. If you could buy a ghillie suit and then that gave you a distinct advantage where you hid in the bush and you were almost undetectable.
It's like, guys, it's all going to be purely cosmetic stuff, guys. Like this camouflage T-shirt. Oh man, this camouflage hat. Oh.
Yeah, it's like the Duck Hunter outfit. It's a cosmetic thing, but it's all camouflaged.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's tricky. Like, what can they sell on the store that's going to be cosmetic that doesn't affect it? I mean.
And that it's a weird thing too, because realistically, I don't necessarily think that there's going to be enough people that are going to. I could be wrong. Maybe people really like their T-shirt skins, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to fund development.
Well, here's a good point. John, somebody brought up in chat that what if they had two different types of servers, one pay to win and one not, just cosmetics. That'd be interesting. Let's see where
That would
people
be
go.
chaos. I mean, if they
Yeah.
do that, I guess I couldn't fault them to be like, okay, you want to do this? That could work.
Well, you have your choice,
Yeah.
pay to win or just cosmetics.
They did say that they are going to have the player's studio for the game as well. And they've also commented that they're using their experience from PlanetSide 2 to help model a lot of the stuff they're putting in H1Z1. And I know John Smedley himself said that he had a player on Player's Studio that had made over $100,000 US in a year just from putting stuff on Player's Studio, and every single bit of it was cosmetic. They weren't paying for extra powered guns, extra armor, better vehicles. It was literally cosmetic
Hats and
stuff.
T-shirts and shit. Yeah.
It was more armor
Okay.
stuff. The stats of the armor were static, but the look of the armor was unique. And he was also making decals as well for your vehicles and stuff. The guy was making a killing. So I think if they had some form, and Clegg did say that they are going to have decals.
Right. He did. So you'll be able to Domo Tribe one, or
So yeah. So if you have to pay for that decal and stuff like that, I can see them making a lot of money from those sorts of things, or maybe you could buy a T-shirt with your own decal on it or something. I think that sort of stuff will make them a pile. So hopefully they make enough that they don't have to then revert to selling other stuff to make up for it.
what is Premium Access going to get you as well? Remember, because Sony now has that, which is your subscription every month to $15 a month pays for all Sony games. So it usually gives you some kind of bonus. Like right now, it gives you station cash for like Landmark, but
Maybe it'll make you like respawn with some lesser healing items or something.
yeah, but
I
then
don't know.
it becomes pay to win, right? Because that's the tricky part.
Maybe. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Hopefully it's just station cash for cosmetic
Yeah,
items.
that's probably
yeah, that's probably what it'll be, or a bonus on that. I get one other thing I think that would really ruin the game too, and I think was this a problem with DayZ? I'm not really sure. If they make it so that when you change the graphics of the game, like if you're on a lower rig, you drop it down, you get rid of all of the
Oh, that's
foliage.
right. Yeah, you could see through trees and
stuff like
shit
that.
once you turned it way down.
Right. So if they have a standard benchmark where it's just like no matter what, the bare minimum, everybody gets this amount of terrain to deal with, and the game is designed around that benchmark, I think it'll be fine. But the moment you make it so that I have a bad PC, so I'm going to get rid of all the brush, all the trees, all the everything, and so it's like this person who's hiding in a bush is just like standing in the middle of an open field, basically.
Yeah. Turn your grass to draw distance down. Turn it down. See the loot. See the loot. Stand 20 feet back and see all the loot.
All right, there, Skyla. Let's get the last couple ones done here because we're running out of time, actually.
Okay. In the streams, they haven't shown anything like FEMA shelters or military areas, only camps. Is this missing, or is it because it's rural?
Don't know.
I think it's because it's a secret.
We might be coming eventually. If you guys haven't done it yet, go to the h1z1 Twitch channel and look at their past broadcasts and watch one by Double D. And it is a radio show that he did. Double D is a fictitious character, but watch it anyway. His name's It's called Double D's radio broadcast or something like that. Watch it and listen to it because it's really good, and it gives a lot of the background story and lore. He does go through and talk to some of the to the character. It's all role played out. So you get to hear people talking about being at a shelter, being at some kind of like camp hospital that they're helping the people that are getting sick. So,
well, Clegg showed a sneak peek at a mine shaft, which is
the last one.
a previously discussed item that they hadn't shown anything. They had confirmed military bases, possible underground installations, scientific or military. What else did they say? There's going to be They said there are going to be a lot of points of interest in the game that they're not going to show you
right now
beforehand because it would kind of wreck the whole point of you getting in and discovering it for yourself, which is kind of the point of it. I mean, they showed stuff like the power station. Well, they've talked about the power station, but they've not ever shown any sort of artwork or any conception about what it's going to look like or how big of a role it's going to play in the game. They have said that you can possibly get it going again to get power back, but I think the whole point is they're giving us tidbits enough to get us interested, but there's a lot of content they're not purposefully showing us, because that would be like, who here has seen a movie trailer where they've seen the entire movie in
right, yeah, all the funny jokes, like some really bad comedy, and they do all the funny jokes in the trailer, and you think, oh my god, this movie's gonna be awesome, and that was the funniest parts of the entire movie. All right.
Resident Evil 6 game trailer comes to mind when you say that.
Okay, boy, you gave it all away.
North's biggest eye roll ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, and you know,
I'm a huge Resident Evil fan too, man.
It was so disappointing. You know, that's why Evil Within, that looks cool as hell. I'm so glad they're making that. But the last two Resident Evil games.
All right, go ahead.
Do you think that the game is going to be hard to survive?
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be very hard.
Hopefully we just have a lot of elements to deal with. That's what I'm looking forward to, hopefully.
I was playing, was it Unturned? Yeah, Unturned. I was playing Unturned today, and I died like 20 times just before I could even get some sort of semblance of what I was supposed to be doing, you know? It was tough, and I was like, holy crap, this game's really tough. So I liked it. And then when I finally did that, I felt like, oh god, I got a little stash started here, and I'm sticking all my stuff in a little hole, and this was my spot. I sort of felt like really kind of proud of myself, you know?
Love that.
Yeah. All right.
Stop.
Okay.
My dog's trying to type.
Oh. Hey, Doge.
Do we know how the game is going to deal with world borders? Like, will the world be just a single island, have invisible walls, or impassable mountains?
Good question. Don't know yet.
Quite, because I don't think we know.
We haven't seen anybody bumping into anything like invisible yet.
From my information, it's going to be like impassable mountains to start with. Like just mountain ranges that you can't go beyond.
Day one stream. Where's the border of this game?
Yeah, just run to the edge.
Just running all day, and that's all you do.
But and then I think they said it that way because that way when they expand the map, it's easy to alter it. They can just then alter the terrain, sort of make a larger section of it, alter the section, whatever's part of the map, the corner that they want to expand on, and then they can just flatten it down and expand from that way. But I believe that's what Smedley said that it was going to be to start with, was just a sort of, because he said there's not going to be any beaches or anything like that to start with. It's just going to be a mountain range that you come up to that you can't go through or up or pass through, whatever.
Okay. Next.
Do you think that when they develop female characters, they will always look like men because we lack cosmetics in the apocalypse? Do I look like a dude without makeup on, like now?
You look like Stockus.
Oh, right. That's true.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does Skylar look like me, or do I look like Skylar?
Not quite sure.
They're gonna look like female characters.
Yeah.
I mean, the game is really gritty already, so I don't really think that
They
it's
should
gonna be.
They'll be dirty female characters, dirty girls.
Yeah,
Wait a
they're not
minute,
gonna
wait a
have
minute.
cooker makeup.
The Sony shop. That's how they're going to sell stuff.
What is it?
Female models
Lipstick.
can have makeup. Cosmetics. They'll sell makeup
Yes.
on the
They'll
Sony
make
store.
a killing.
Probably
They'll
will
make
make
a
a killing, yeah.
No, seriously. Hair dye, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Why
it
not?
just me, or did chat completely die?
It
Like-
died.
Yeah.
No, it's died. Cat's dead.
Like, I know people are still typing, but nothing's showing up, and it's just like
just broken, that's all.
Oh, well,
Really?
I'm sorry if we're missing.
I thought it was us.
No,
regular.
I
I've
have.
refreshed, it's still messed up.
Yeah, I hit refresh and it's not going. I apologize to anybody if you're asking questions or something. Unfortunately,
I don't know.
we don't know.
Bod's using a client. He can tell if Twitch chat drops. He should be able to see if they're still typing. If any more questions are coming in, he still should be able to grab them unless the entire thing has completely just died.
He hasn't put anything in 10 minutes. So.
Real quick, along the question of the females, what was Smedley's deal with him tweeting that women will have a much better chance to survive in this game than men? Or female
Did he
characters?
tweet that?
Yeah. He said female characters will have a much better...
Black Widows?
We can barter for sexy time?
I don't know. Bartering for sexy time would be great. But I don't know. There was a tweet he came out with, and somebody said, "Why did he say that women are better at surviving an apocalypse in our game than men?"
Well, think about it. Like, think about World of Warcraft back in the day. Like, if somebody thought you were a female player, they would like give you gold and buy you
They
items.
shower you in purples all the time.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Because
god,
they've been
there's
to
a
Black
girl in
Friday
the-
sales a lot.
Here's this AK, and then you shoot him in the face.
Right. Stick up your hands.
The neck. I've seen
It's
it.
like, I've got this gun, but I've got that ammunition. It's like, it's really hard to shoot the bears and stuff. Oh, here, baby. Yeah, baby, have all my 9 mils.
Heavy side.
Especially because there's going to be voice chat in this game, and it's going to be
Voice chat.
well,
Day one voice morpher. I'm
more.
using
Yeah,
it.
exactly. You want to get that thing to change your voice so you sound like a girl.
Cybersex and H1z1.
No, just that. What's it called? Where it's like a I want to call it like
Proximity.
proximity. Yeah, proximity voice chat. So somebody who's 5 feet away from you is louder than somebody who's 20 feet away from you talking.
Yep.
And you'll be able to tell where they're coming from, left, right, or whatever. It's three-dimensional sound. And so you hear girls talking, be like, "Oh my God, it's an actual girl." And people will be
I
shouting.
know all gamers aren't neckbeards who have never seen females before.
Really?
See, that's when I get my sister in.
And
It's
she
like,
speaks
"Hey,
for you?
Come play this game with me. Oh, quick! Can you just tell this guy to give me some? But I'm not gonna. I'm not. Even if I played a female character, I'm gonna walk up behind. Hey, baby. Give me all your chicken legs. Yeah.
Chicken leg.
No, don't turn around. That's the way it is. You smell pretty.
I'm in.
Yeah,
Smell
exactly.
There will be traps in this game.
Yeah,
Oh, baby.
wrong traps.
Chat's back.
Chat is back. Thank God. There it comes.
Chat.
Oh my God.
Hey!
There's Chat. Chat's alive.
Somebody said pay
Wow.
$14.99 to make her boobs bigger.
Well, that would be a cosmetic change that I would agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah, boob job. Get the California treatment.
Well, I could definitely see them doing maybe not boob jobs, but they could do different hairstyles and stuff like that. They've got to figure out some way to fund this game because as much as we love it that it's free to play, it has to make some kind of money. So
Character
Otherwise,
skins,
it'll end
yeah.
up like other games that became free to play that we.
Well, let's
would
face
love.
it. Early access is what's going to sell this game. They're going to make a lot of money just for like $20.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
for-
I'm going to be giving a shitload of it away as well. So,
Yep.
They didn't pick Twitch, as a accident.
No.
I mean, they're picking people like Co to go out there because it's going to sell copies. It's plain and
Lots
simple.
of copies. But that won't fund the game forever. They'll get a spike, but
No.
then it's going to die back down.
Which is why they got to finish the game
Right.
before it gets to that point.
Exactly, because then people pay the $20, be like, this game sucks, fuck it, and leave. Never come back. But hopefully it'll have longevity. Okay. How many more we got? Trendane wants to know, will there be a zombie wet t-shirt contest?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Which is so weird because this is coming from a gay man. So I don't... I
Wet
don't...
white pants contest?
Yeah, maybe a
Well-
wet crotch contest, maybe, Trendane?
Maybe if I can raid a party supply store and get a bunch of balloons and then fill them with biodiesel, throw them on a zombie and marvel for a few seconds before I light them on fire.
Yes. Excellent.
He died in a free gasoline fight accident.
All right, Abe, last one there, Sky. Let's read this one. We got to close up shop.
Could you guys on Twitch, nope, talk to SOE, nope, and get them to let you guys give out decals to subs like an in-game clan?
We did. We talked about that, and that was the thing.
We did.
I talked with Jimmy Weisenhunt and Klegman both times. I said, we need something to give away as streamers. We want something as a stream gift, because when you play Landmark, they give you the lunar anklets and shit you can't get in the game.
Yep.
You can only get them from streamers. And I said, you need to do that for us so that we have something to give away that people can have as a thing. And he said, we could do decals all day long. So that may be something that we can give away.
Yeah, not physical, not like not like items like the rabbit head on a stick, not that sort of thing, but definitely decals.
Definitely decals. He said because that's no skin off their back. It's just easy to put right in the game. All right, so let's wrap this up. Okay, real quick, everybody, I'm going to finish up the raffle, and while well, we're just going to close the raffle up, and then everybody will go around the room. We'll tell everyone where they can find us, and we'll wrap this thing up. Let's get out of here. All right, here we go. Good luck, everybody. May the odds be ever in your favor. We're giving away a copy of The Forest. Good luck. Gravity! Gravity!
Congratulations,
Yay.
Gravity.
Gravity, claim it if you're here. Say something, or I will kick it to the next guy. Reminds me of a John Mayer song.
Claim wet zombie boobs. To
All right. Mr. Bikeman, let's go around and tell everybody where people can find us, where they can subscribe to you, and where your social networking links and shit like that are.
Yeah, I was Bike Man on Twitch TV. That should be good enough.
All right. Nowhere else?
Oh, well, there's other places, but, whatevs.
Okay. You're so modest.
Joke.
Yeah. All right, Agent North, go ahead.
Alrighty, I mean, you guys can find me on Twitter at Agent North TV or on Twitch at Agent_North.
Awesome. Miss Skylatron.
I am Skylatron everywhere, Twitch and Twitter and plenty of other places.
What are you at 10 Ton Hammer?
I'm actually Skylatron on 10 Ton Hammer,
Oh.
and you can find 10 Ton Hammer stuff. Our Twitch is 10 Ton Hammer Network.
Awesome.
And I stream there, as well as my personal channel.
She does. And
Everywhere.
Mr. Tangent.
On Twitch, Tangent Gaming. On Twitter, Team Tangent. And on YouTube, Tangent Games. Didn't plan that one out so well.
Yeah, it's okay. We can change your name now. It's fine.
Mousy.
Mr. Hazardous Mouse.
Yeah, so you could find me on Twitch, Hazardous Mouse, also on Twitter, Hazardous Mouse as well. YouTube is Hazardous Mouse Twitch. But if you enjoy DayZ, you enjoy survival type games, I've been playing a lot of Overpoch lately, so we run missions with viewers in game. We also have party bus times, which is fun, or motorcycle gangs, so feel free to check out my stream.
Awesome. Mr. Stuckus.
Yes, I am Sergeant Stackers everywhere. I am in your cupboard. I am under your bed. I am sneaking through the curtains watching you shower at night.
Awesome. Just like Psycho?
Even better than that.
Okay.
Because I just watch.
No stabby
That's
stabby?
our baby. Use the loofah. No, that's the hand washer. Use the loofah. Yeah, that's me, basically.
Awesome.
So anywhere you don't want me to be, I'm there. So you don't have to find me. I know where you are.
Awesome. And you guys are here on my channel, GeekDomo, and we do this stuff all the time. So, Mr. Gravity, you know the procedure. Send me a message on Twitch here with your Steam ID and email, and I will send you the game in a little bit. Thank you so much, everybody, tonight for coming in and doing the show. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Thanks,
Thank you.
thanks to all the fans and the guests and everybody, or the peoples in the audience chatting with us tonight. I appreciate it. We could have done this without your questions. It would have been a 5-minute show. So definitely appreciate it. And remember, everybody, Carnage is going to be streaming this very game tomorrow from SOE's headquarters. Please go and support him. Show up there. Ask him lots of questions. Confuse him. Make him sad in his pants.
and thank you to Bud, the sausage
Yes, I'm
master,
just yes.
in chat.
Yep. Bod, thank you so much for all of your question and answer gatherings.
We love you, sausage. Long time.
We love you. So good night, everybody. Oh, yeah, by the way, this will be on my YouTube channel probably tomorrow, and then all of the rest of the people here are going to put it on their channels, so you can find it on our channels. So good night, and see ya!